up, guys? As some may have known, more so I kept this more in kind of discreet way because I didn't really want too many people in my business, and it was at first something that wasn't supposed to fall through, but it actually did. So it was just kind of one of those things, like you get like good news and you don't want to share it until it actually like is complete or is actually en route kind of thing. So this was kind of what this was. So okay, the ones that didn't know, I was in school completing my bachelor's in computer information systems. So I'm finally complete and it's done, set in stone. So I will be graduating in June, but I'm finished this month of April. So it was, I tell you, if you really want to go back to school, this is the number one. Before I get started with this video, number one thing I'm going to say, if you're ready and your mind is straight, it don't matter what you're doing. As far as when I say that, like if you're working, you can do it. Because honestly, going into school knowing that I have a full-time job, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, what time was I really going to have? That's all that was on my mind, because I'm the type that, like, I love my social life. Like, I don't like to just dedicate all my time to work, work, work. I'm not that kind of person. Like, one job is good enough for me. Like, there's folks that work is their life. They can work 3 and 4 jobs and not have a personal, time to themselves, and then wonder why they're tired. But me, on the other hand, I really don't have to do that. And let me go back to what I just said, because there's people that actually have to work like that to maintain their living. But me, on the other hand, like, I don't really have much responsibilities, but at the same time, anybody likes money. So it's just like, yes, I'm gonna work enough where I still have time for myself. So going back to school, I started off with five. I think I started off with, yeah, I never did 4 classes. So I started off with 5 classes off the go. Like, I started off with 5 classes, and it was fully like, it was like virtual. So they had the opportunity, I had the opportunity to do virtual, which was like on Mondays and Wednesdays. I did a virtual course where I seen the professor and I was engaging in class. So, but we was only seeing each other twice a week. And then I had the option to do online class. I'm gonna be eating too, because like it's lunchtime right now. I'm working from home this week, so I gotta multitask. But yeah, so like Monday through Monday and Wednesday I did virtual courses, and then on Fridays I was off, of course. But by Fridays, discussion boards had to be submitted, and then replies. If for those that's an online class, for replies you had to reply by Sunday, like at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., or whatever the case was. So at first, in my head, like back in the day, when I say back in the day, I'd be making myself sound mad old, but yeah, when I did my associate's degree, what I had to do at first was a full, like, I was in person because I was younger. I think when I first started college, I was like 18, 17, 18. So by time it was time to come back to school, in the city, because I did do school away at SUNY Cobleskill, and then when I came back to the city, I transferred to Monroe College in the Bronx, which is where I completed my bachelor's degree. So when I went to Monroe, it was a private school, so it was like 2014, 2015. They were still doing in-person classes, and online was an option, but it wasn't so strictly to online like how it is now, post-pandemic kind of thing. So post-pandemic, there was like a time where it was strictly you had to do remote, or like you couldn't go to school because in-person wasn't an option. But yeah, so hold on. This is like a chicken wrap. It's called a Boston wrap, I think. Yeah. So post-pandemic, yeah, you had to do online classes. In my head, when I went back to enroll in school for my bachelor's last year, January 2022, I thought to myself, I said, is this something you really want to do? Like, I had an opportunity. That's really why I went to school, back to school. When I first, not dropped out, but when I took a break after I got my associates, it was due to financial issues. So it wasn't like, oh, fuck school. Like, I don't want to be in school no more. Because one thing about it, I'm a go-getter. I'm gonna get to it. But life happened and I wasn't able to go back to school, and I took 6 years off. So imagine being like out of school for 6 years. A whole 6 years later, going back, it's like a whole new environment. So Not necessarily in my case, because I went back to the school that I originally graduated from, so it was more at ease because like I was familiar with like the teaching styles of the different professors, the tutoring options they had. So whereas if I would have went to a whole nother school, I would have had to like, you know, get that whole breakdown again. So I was very grateful to have this opportunity to go back to school. And what I really want to get out of this video is just basically more so positivity, like, you know, on a positive side, like anyone that's willing or had a thought about going back to school, I feel like it's always of gonna be a thought, like, you know, because there's gonna be many opportunities where it's like, now you can't get this job because you don't have a degree. At the end of the day, you have to think of it like a degree is just a piece of paper. It doesn't determine basically what a person could do. Like sometimes people have degrees and don't know shit. So it's like, what did you really do in school? What did you really learn? You know, I'm not qualified to this job because I don't have a degree. And in my case, like I had opportunities where like it was about who I knew, the programs that I, you know, went to and things like that to get my foot in the door of the tech field, because that's basically what I'm doing now. Like I'm doing information technology. So it's just basically like being in IT, it's kind of like certs matter. It's not necessarily like you have to have a degree unless you're like more so on the side of like like cybersecurity and stuff like that. I mean, pretty much like you don't really need a degree necessarily. It's about who you know nowadays. Maybe back in the day, but like now it's more about who you know, what experience you have, as far as like if you've been to internships. You have to just show on your resume something that it's, you know, correlates with what you're applying for. So like in my case, I did a program called Year Up. It's a workforce development program. I'll also put that link in this by description. So if you're like 18 and up, 18 to 24, I think it is. Yeah, definitely look into it. Like if you have no work experience and you have no idea what you want to do, they have a few courses there where you can actually look into and see if that's like of something of your interest. But yeah, like I said, like school wasn't something that I thought I was ever gonna get back into. Like I didn't give up necessarily. Like I said, I didn't have the funds to go back. But when the opportunity came back into, you know, the air, I took it and I ran with it. Didn't think that it was possible. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had so many doubts. I cried. I stayed up late. There was events I missed out on, opportunities I missed out on. It was so much that I did to get to where I'm at, and that's why I'm so proud. Like I made it through. Like truth be told, like I might cry at graduation. I'm not gonna hold you. I might cry because I had to challenge myself a lot because one, I'm not good at math. That's never been like a strong subject of mine. So the fact that I had to take a math course for this, and I've been ducking math since I've ever like started college. Like when I first started college, they were always like, "Oh, you got to take math before you graduate, regardless." And I'm like, "Is there a way, another class that I can get around?" And I've always got it around, but not this term. For my bachelor's, I needed a math. I needed two. I think I needed two math courses or three, but I was able to get away with taking two. A class that I took prior for my freshman year. So I basically only was in school from January 22 to April 2023, which is not bad at all. So we only took quantitative reasoning, which was like linear modeling, like graphing and stuff like that. And then I took statistics this semester. When I tell y'all, at first, I always heard bad thoughts about statistics, like it's hard, da da da. But it all determines on the professor that you have, honestly, because the professor that I had, like, he was very understanding. Anytime I didn't understand anything, I'm not one to ask questions because I get nervous about what others think in the class and stuff like that. I don't want to make it seem like it's a dumb question. I know there's not a dumb question, but there are dumb questions, if that makes sense. But yeah, so like I would just listen because other people have the same questions that I had. So I'm like, okay, perfect. Or I'll ask when class is over, like, Professor, can we talk after class, kind of thing. But like in the beginning I understood it, I'm not gonna lie. Then after that, all I heard was blah, 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 blah. And then it fucked me over. So the thing with statistics, you have to really, like, pay attention. And, like, once you, like, get off track and you miss one thing, you miss one class, it's over. Like, it's no trying to figure out where you stand in that class or try to figure out what's going on. But, yeah, like, with statistics, it's not, like, more so the class is hard because it's honestly not hard. It's more of a like you pay attention, you get it, you don't. Like you either get it or you don't get it. But nowadays there's so many freaking resources in the world. Like YouTube helped me. Chat GPT was the lifesaver. Like any problem I didn't really understand, ChatGPT, like I put the question in and it will like fully explain it and more in depth if I didn't really, because I'm more of a visual person. So like ChatGPT was helpful in a sense, but I found YouTube to be more helpful because it was, I'm more of a visual learner, so I can see like images and how to do it like written out. So that was like really my most. And then also my other difficult class that I took during this last term of my bachelor's was advanced programming. Like bruh, it was, my midterm grade was a D. I wound up banging that out with an A as a final term because bruh, if it wasn't for my final project, all those tests I ain't do good on. But the assignments, like I understood. I don't know. I'm not a test taker, but when it comes to assignments, you know, you get unlimited chances to like do over and do over, and you get to like at least like work on it with another partner in the class or something. I didn't have a group. Like WhatsApp was like our favorite thing too, but like for that class, I don't think I had a WhatsApp group for it. So it was more, we did, but they didn't use it. The people that was in that class, we didn't really use it. So it was more like we was on our own. And then the professor, he was helpful, but it was just certain questions I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to be like, where did you not, like, he gonna be like, did you not read or listen to the recording kind of thing. He was one of those professors. So I was like, okay, so let me just figure this out on my own. So I'm clearly not eating. But yeah, but truth be told, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, I thought I was gonna be like ending my GPAs with like 2 point something because of like the workload at work and then my workload from school. So being a full-time student and a full-time employee, those two, it was hard. But at the same time, it's all about time management. So, you know, I knew that assignments were due on Wednesday. Like my discussion boards were due on Wednesday. So I would finish everything. Whenever I had like spare time at work, I'm doing a discussion. Like I didn't have to do everything all at once. But then again, I have time after work. But you know, by the time I get home from work, I'm tired. But then I knew that I have responsibilities that I have to, you know, attain to. So it was like, regardless, fact of the matter is, and the difference is too, it was like, I'm paying for school. I'm not getting free money or nothing. Like nobody's helping me out. I'm doing this all by myself. So it's like, I'm gonna pay for school to make an ass out of myself, or I'm gonna pay for school and I'm gonna put in that work and that time and that effort to get where I want to be. Like my goal was to get a 4.0 every semester. There was one semester I didn't get a 4.0, which was my last semester before this one, and I got like a 3.8 because I had a B plus in like one of my classes. But each semester I definitely did make the president's list. So I'm happy about that. Like I thought last semester I did it and I cried my ass off. Like I went to California like to celebrate, you know, but then once I had got to California and I looked at my final grade and realized it wasn't an A, I cried. But then it hit to me and I was like, you still obtained a good GPA. There's people that are doing what you're doing and can't do the same. So it's just like more so like a mindset thing. Like if you want it, you'll go after it. If this is something you want, you'll make it happen. Like it's just one of those things. Like, and throughout this process, like it's really helped me grow and like physically, like, you know, dig deeper into things. Like I didn't want to just settle for just anything. And I know now with the degree, it will open up more doors. May not even wind up working in the career field that I went to school for, because that's 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. You wind up going somewhere else or like, you know, venturing off to another career bracket. But honestly, like IT has always been my thing. But help desk is just not something you do for years. It's something that you do as an entry, you know, level, and then like you work your way up. So I felt like with my degree, like it could possibly open up more doors for me, which I hope, because I've learned so much in school now that I can like use that knowledge and take it somewhere else where I can like, you know, enhance my knowledge and freaking like actually try new things. And aside from school, also I'm a photographer. Like, yeah, it's not full time, but I do take pictures on like the weekends and stuff when I did have time. So just imagine all of that, like juggling all of that at once. Like, bruh, your girl was tired. Like, I was tired, beyond tired. But I made it happen. Like, there was several times my bags was looking crazy. I was like, nah, I still want my social life. Like, I didn't care. Like, there was times I was partying on the weekdays and stuff like that. And then there was times where I'm like, nah, you're really doing this? Like, how are you doing this, girl? Like, you got... But I will always, one thing about it, like, I will always make sure my assignments is done before I would go out. Like, I would never go out and just be, you know, stupid and not freaking, like, irresponsible. I would not go outside and turn up knowing that I had an assignment due at 11:59. Like, and if that was the case, like, I'll make sure, like, at least partial of it was done, so I know be back home before 10 o'clock so that you can finish this assignment off. Or there's times I was on the train headed to an event and I'm doing my assignment. Like, I made it happen, and that's all that matters. Like, I'm glad that I did it. And then, like, people were asking me, like, are you gonna go back for your master's? I don't want to just go back in school just cause. I want to go back and know what I want to do. Like, I don't want a master's in IT. I know that for sure. So I'm still, it's in the air and I'm thinking about it. Like, I really don't know. And I won't go back to Monroe, of course, but I do want to go back for a master's eventually. Like I said, I did take that 6 years off, so I don't want to do that again. So if I'm going to do my master's and I'm serious about it, like, I want to make sure I have that in a loop at least by the end of 2023, so that, like, you know, I won't happen to just it to fucking blow away and I won't decide to go back anymore. But I really do want to go back for a master's and probably film or something. I don't know, like, it's just in the air. Like, I'm gonna look into it and see if this is, like, really, really what I want to do. That's why I'm giving myself some time to, like, end the year to actually make that final decision. Truth be told, I think I hit all the key points. But, like, I just really wanted to come on here and just, like, tell y'all, like, what it was like, really. And how did I overcome? How did I do it? Because I remember it was several times I've posted in my close friends and stuff about it. And people were like, yo, like, I want to go back to school. I've got that a lot. I've gotten how you do it a lot. I honestly don't know. When people ask me how I do it, I just say, like, I just do it. Like, one thing about me, like I said, I'm a go-getter. And if it's something I really want, I'm going to get to it. Rather, I don't care how long it takes, how hard it is, I'm going to get to it. Like I told you, I cried, stayed up late. There's times, like, I've turned the light off and I just sat here in the dark just like, bro, like, what's really happening? Like, is this really what I want to do? And mind you, that tuition was expensive, bro. That shit ate my pockets up. And it felt so good giving them that last bill for my last semester. This semester right now, I was so happy when I gave that to them in September. I was so happy. Like, bro, wait, not September, I'm tweaking. But for the winter, yeah, I was so happy. And it's just like, damn, like, school is really a lot. But for you not to 10 times out of 10 not get a fucking job in your career field, like, you would think, like, damn, I'm paying all this money, I'm about to get a good ass job right away. Nursing is the only, in my opinion, the only freaking career field that you're guaranteed a position right after graduation, like, legitimately. And I feel like IT too, in a sense, if you know the right people and you have the right certs and stuff like that. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Shoot, if you know some other tips that I don't know about, especially in IT, because that's the field that I'm interested in, drop them. But that's pretty much it. I really don't have much more to really say. But yeah, y'all, your girl is a 2023 graduate. It's lit.